Death has come to your little town, Sheriff.
Does Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
What's in the box? Say hello to my little friend! Show me the money!
Go ahead. Make my day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Good Real Hunting. I am the Bratman along with my boy Brad, which he was getting a little bit too close to our viewers. He's just excited. So, Brad, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Brett?
I'm doing pretty good, especially with our topic today. We're going to continue with our Bond series of videos, and we're going to go a little bit in a different direction here, and we're going to talk about our top 5 Bond video games.
I am jacked about this one. I know you are too.
Oh, especially with number 1, which we know probably assume most people's number 1, but we're going to at least tell you 5 through 2. So, Brad, do you want to start us off?
I do. So number 5 for me, boom, 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 is From Russia with Love. That came out on the PS2. Had Sean Connery come back to do the voiceover, which was awesome. He was a little bit older, so you could kind of tell in his voice, but it didn't really distract you too much in the game. You had some nice, memorable sequences in there. Jetpack time, which wasn't actually in the movie, but either way, in the game, it was fun. There was the boat stuff, and it had a fantastic final boss battle there at the end with your boy. And I remember some rocket launchers being a part of that, but I remember I had a really good time with that one.
Oh man, you got ahead of me right there, which I'll talk about that game later on. But no, I'm with you. Very good game. My number 5 is going to be the remastered edition of GoldenEye for the Xbox 360. And pretty much why it's number 5 for me is just because it brought back so much good memories of GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. Pretty much immediately wanted to grab my Nintendo 64, but I thought that the 360 did a very good job doing the remaster. Like the graphics looked better, but just it didn't have the same feel as the original GoldenEye. But again, still had a very good time with the game.
Yeah, I remember it had some pretty good stealth moments. It rewarded you for using stealth, and it also Daniel Craig, putting him in GoldenEye was a fun little mix-up too.
Yeah, and that was to do some promotion work for his movies.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Okay, so for me, numero cuatro, number 4, is going to be, now this is from the Nintendo 64, so we all know exactly what I'm talking about. Just kidding. It is not it's not what you're thinking, but what it is The World Is Not Enough. It had the blue cartridge, and it kind of took some of the elements of GoldenEye and enhanced them a little bit too much, I thought. But either way, you had some really good missions. It followed the storyline of the movie really well. You had some the submarine thing at the end, which you could not beat unless you had the freaking what was that magazine back then that you had to get the
Oh, why you have to put me on the spot?
There was a magazine.
Oh, why'd you have to put me on the spot?
It was a very popular magazine, but
was it like a Game Shark magazine? Because I know that's what it was.
It was something like that. It gave you all the tips. Every game back then came with its own little manual you could buy separate.
Are you talking about like the book or like a magazine?
It was like a magazine that you would get in conjunction with the games.
All right, so guys,
the strategy guide. Unless you had the strategy guide, you could not get past that damn submarine mission at the end because it was a maze. But either way, you had that. You had a nice little skiing mission. You had the cool mission at the beginning with the water sprinklers and everything.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. You had Pierce in the air, and I think they started doing voiceovers at that point. I might be wrong on that, but they at least put in some music and things like that. That was pretty good. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, go ahead, and good stealth missions too. There was 1 or 2 in there that was fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm jealous already because I totally forgot about it until you mentioned it. I remember the blue casing of the game. Very good game. But I'm going to go with my number 4 of 007 Legends. Also, that came out on the Xbox 360, or is it the Xbox One?
That was 360. Yes, it was 360.
Yeah, 360. So, and the reason why I love that game so much because again, I love the classic missions and the classic Bonds, and you just get all of that within this game. I know it wasn't the best Bond game ever, but to me, it was more of a what's the word? Now
nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia just brought everything back, all the good memories, and just to relive it along with the original Bond actors that they put into the game. It was a great time.
Yeah, I like the concept of that one, going back and playing some of the bigger moments from the franchise, but the execution was horrible. I remember I
It
couldn't
really
get,
was.
yeah, I couldn't get through the first mission because the gameplay was so atrociously bad. It was horrible, but the concept I really dug, and it was a shame that they didn't do a better job in making the mechanics work better. But beside the point, so for me, number three, is going to be Nightfire on PS2. And I absolutely love that game. I know I got a buddy or two that I used to play freaking multiplayer with all the time back in the day. And it had, again, the multiplayer was, it was pretty much the same as GoldenEye, more enhanced, obviously. But the missions, the storyline, it was one of the first. I think Agent Under Fire came first, and then this was the next one that had its own original storyline. You had Rook in there as one of the villains. He throws the girl off and he says, "Kill her and use the helipad to get rid of the body."
Goodbye, Dominique. Use the helipad and take care of the body.
And I remember that being pretty awesome. That was a good moment. You had the rocket launcher shooting Rook out of the sky, and really, there's a fantastic stealth mission or two in there. And you also had there were some really good vehicle missions with the Aston Martin in the snow with the ice and everything, and the vehicle had some awesome gadgets on it. You had some oil slick in the back. You had the rockets up front, and just awesome missions. So much fun to play. I almost remember the name of my favorite mission, the Exchange at the beginning. I think it's the second, third mission in there. It had the Aston Martin chase, and it had some stealth stuff in there too. But it was awesome. And then in space, you go to space at the end, dude, with the freaking laser pistols and stuff. It was awesome, man.
You and those laser pistols, I'll tell you. The only reason that game is not on my list is because I have not played it, which that's pretty much one of my biggest regrets in video game wise for the PS2 is to not play that game. So I'm hoping I can play that game in the future someday. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with my number 3. And Brad spoke on this earlier. It's gonna be with Russian with Love.
Russia with Love, yeah.
Yeah, Russian with Love, which again, I won't go into too much detail. Brad pretty much just hit the nail on the coffin of why the game
head.
is so good. Yeah, so good, and because I love the jetpack, and which the reason they put in the jetpack in that game is just so that it could just have like more action scenes so they can make the video game more actiony. Like I know the movie didn't have quite as much action, so that's why they had to add that into the video game where it just made it worthy of a video game.
It was a very cool moment of the game.
Oh, it was just to see Sean Connery wear that jetpack was awesome.
Yeah, so for number 2 for me, and yeah, again, I love From Russia with Love. That was awesome. Number 2 for me is oh man, number 2 and 1 are they're both so good. It was hard to actually place these top two, even though that might be a little controversial. But number 2 for me is Everything or Nothing, and the reason being is you get a totally original storyline with the nanotechnology. Willem Dafoe comes in. You get his freaking character in there with his voiceover. Richard Kiel comes back as Jaws. You got Judi Dench in there. You get freaking John Cleese in there as Q. You get obviously Pierce Brosnan did a full voiceover. Heidi Klum's in there. It's got its own song, which Nightfire did too, and I think Agent Under Fire maybe did as well. But it's got its own song. Give me everything or nothing. Give me, You got awesome gadgets with a little spider thing. That goes through the vents and stuff, and it's in third person too, which From Russia with Love was as well, but added a lot. You had the repelling stuff, you had the spider, you had some awesome locations and missions. You had it was over in Russia, Moscow, London, Louisiana on the Petrosian, the big ass bridge in Louisiana. With a sweet motorcycle mission there where you're ramping over the gaps and stuff, and Jaws is chasing your ass, and freaking you fight
Jaws
with
is a scary dude.
Yes, dude. You run from him. You have multiple missions with Jaws, and you get some good car missions with good gadgets on the cars. You get a sweet little free fall mission there towards the beginning. The ending was cool with the rockets. The villain was awesome. You got Willem Dafoe in there. A tank mission. I remember as a kid, VHS was still out at the time, ladies and gentlemen. I actually stuck a VHS in there and I recorded the whole game, me playing it, and just so I could go back because it had the best movie feel to it with the third person and everything, and the weapons were good. But anyway, I recorded the whole game, me playing it, and so I could go back and kind of just make my own movie, from playing the game. And you had the scene where freaking Bond's giving a massage. I mean, it was just awesome overall. Phenomenal game, very nice long gameplay. And I would love to go back and replay it. I wish they would remake all these games, but phenomenal game.
What system was that for?
That was on the PS2, and it had phenomenal.
PS2.
It was towards the end of the PS2. I think it came out 2003. Yeah, the graphics were the best, of PS2 era for sure.
Right, and that's why I was asking, is because I didn't remember that game just because that's, I think, during the time where I switched over to the 360. So I'm pretty mad at myself for not getting a chance to play that game because I've heard nothing but excellent things about that game.
So good, so good.
So, okay, do you want to go number one together on three?
Yes.
Because we all should know what our number one is.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Quantum of
GoldenEye.
Solace.
Dude. But no, it is indeed GoldenEye. And how could it not be GoldenEye? I know the graphics, they actually didn't think they were that bad just for the Nintendo 64, but just the missions were just so much fun. Like, again, I could talk about this game all day, but just to quickly sums it up, the missions were great. My favorite mission was when you go to the snow with the satellite. That is my favorite mission.
You get to play that one like twice in there too.
Yeah, and you get to play it twice, so it makes it double awesome. And also, of course, love the one where you get to drive the tank around and shoot people with it. How can you not love that?
Dude,
and the biggest highlight, like for me, it's just all the good memories I had staying up very late into the night, playing with my friends, playing the multiplayer, which I'll let Brad to go to further details on that. It was just such, the big head. Oh, dude, we can keep going on and on. I'll let you mention all those. But GoldenEye, Nintendo 64, best Bond game of all time, and I think nothing can beat it.
I agree, man, and it set the landscape for first-person shooters going forward forever. Like, I mean, we still kind of play the same kind of thing these days with Call of Duty. It's just more enhanced versions of GoldenEye, and that was really the first game that set that mold. And I mean, you could play Odd Job, dude. You could be Odd Job, you could be Jaws. Like, it was just so much fun to play with your friends. Split screen, and the missions themselves. You got Facility there, Numero 2, the second mission of the whole freaking game. It's so good. And back then, if you failed the mission, they didn't end it. Okay, so I would go in Facility. I would start killing the scientist at the end. Like, I would do everything perfect until the end. I'd start killing the scientist. I'd get up in that little room and at the end where all the little gas tanks are, and I would just let the enemies keep coming infinitely. And I would have the code on the Game Shark in for infinite ammo, all the weapons, all that stuff. And I would just sit there and I would just act like it was the Matrix up in there. I would just I'd start with the dual RPGs. Pew, 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 and just freaking blow up the people. They would keep running forever. Like, you could play as long as you want. And then once I got tired of that, I'd swap over to the Uzi 9mm.
The Uzi 9mm.
And then I'd start freaking akimbo in that. And then I would swap over to the pistols. Like, I would just do that all day long. I would throw little mines out there.
Yo, those were my favorite.
Yeah, the mines were good. And then it was just it was great, man. You could do that. The Game Shark, you could run through doors if you had the Game Shark in there. Just run through the whole storyline real quick. Run through the doors. You had invincibility mode. You had big ass head mode. You got freaking paintball mode.
Oh, that was my favorite mode. It's just like playing paintball, but just without actually getting hit by one.
So cool. And in multiplayer it was good. In the storyline it was good. My favorite map was Facility, but then you had like the bunker one with the satellite on the outside, and you had even the Aztec and the Egyptian. There was another one.
The
I think
space.
the space one at the end with the laser pistols. The train one was good, where you got to use the little watch. Sorry, the watch, and
Yes.
you could the floor, and then you got Boris in there. I am invincible,
I am invincible!
which is from the movie, but he
And
was
you
in there
can play
a
as him too, and
You
that's
could.
usually the character I used actually.
Freaking Boris, dude. He was great. And then, yeah, the P90 in there was awesome. The little white and black gun. That was, yeah, it was, it was awesome, dude. The pen, yeah. God, man, this makes me want to go hook up the 64 and play it right now.
Hey, I got it right in there, so we can do it right now. Which again, that's just the problem with the Nintendo 64. We can't do with the technology offers us today.
They should remake that game, man. But
Remake it for the final time, especially with the new Xbox and the new PlayStation coming out. Oh my gosh!
yeah, but I could talk about this one all day. I could go through every freaking map. It was awesome.
Yeah, we could talk about each mission. We could talk about each thing to add into the multiplayer. Which the golden gun, one shot,
crazy.
one death, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, with everybody having one, where pretty much you had to practice your stealth in that one.
Yeah, dude, that was good. The archive map. Oh my gosh, with
Dude,
the tank.
again, we can go
The best-
on
yeah.
and on with that.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. But yeah, that's our list, man. I think both of them are solid. They make me want to go back and play. We haven't had a good Bond game since freaking probably the From Russia with Love, and the GoldenEye remake was pretty good. But outside of that, it's been way too long. So this makes me want to hook up the old systems and play.
Oh shoot, me too. And guys, what are your all's thoughts and what are your all's favorite Bond video games? Is it something besides GoldenEye? We will love to hear that. So go to the comment section below and just provide us with your thoughts. We would love to hear them. And if you like this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to us for further content. And we have great things in store with the Bond series and with October coming up, which we will be having an October announcement here soon. And of course, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Letterboxd just to keep up with us and just to join us along with our journey. That usually that would be a mic drop, but we're just going to end that with a pin drop. So we will see you all later. And yes, we are invincible.
Yes! I am invincible!
That's the grenade pin, by the way.
We'll see you guys later.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Hasta la vista, baby.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening,